All right, like, click, and subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen in this one went 18 of 24, 189 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Devin Singletary, 82 yards. Gabriel Davis, 79 yards and a TD. Justin Herbert, 31 of 52, 316 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. Joshua Kelly went for 35 yards and a TD. Austin Eckler went for 85 yards. Dawson Knox gets your first TD of the game right there, as you can clearly see. There you go. But Keenan Allen comes right back in and scores. It ties the game up. The flip package, they get it to Cole Beasley. He ends up scoring. 9:02, third quarter, Josh Allen decides to carry himself and gets another TD, putting the lead up 24-6. And then you got Joshua Kelly, who dives in and gets a piece of the action right there. Touchdown Chargers. They're still down by 11. Actually, they're down by 10 because they went for the 2-point conversion. A couple of field goals took place, but at the end of the day, the Bills beat the Chargers 27-17. Bills 8-3. And up next, you got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And let's get right to it. Matt Ryan, 22 of 39, 186 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Ito Smith, 65 yards and a TD. Calvin Ridley, 51 yards and a TD. Derek Carr, 22 of 34, 215 yards and 1 pick. Josh Jacobs only had 27 yards. Hunter Renfrow only had 73 yards. Basically, there's a lot of field goals in the first half. As you can see, 16-3 was giving business. We get to the third quarter. Derek Carr gets picked off by Deion Jones. Runs it all the way back, pick 6. About 50 yards probably. Yeah, they just ran that bitch jack. Atlanta takes a huge lead. Brandon Powell ends up scoring, getting it in touchdown. It's like 30-6 at this point. Jacobs fumbled the ball, gave it back to Atlanta. A lot of sloppiness from Derek Carr. There's another takeaway. There you go. Falcons land on it again in the fourth. And then why not? This guy named Ito Smith comes through, scores a touchdown, 40-6. Younghoe Koo kicked about 6 field goals in this game, including this was a 54-yarder. Bottom line is, if you thought Atlanta was going to blow the lead, this time you were out of your minds, because bottom line is there was no lead to blow. 43-6. They gave the Raiders the business. The Gruden grinders didn't show up at all. They weren't Gruden grinding. They weren't Gruden grinding nothing. They just Gruden grinded them goddamn selves into the ground. Derek Carr couldn't even drive himself out of the car. He had to purchase another vehicle to drive himself up out of here. I guarantee you he'll never drive to Atlanta again. And up next, we got the New York Giants taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Daniel Jones is 16 of 27, 213 yards. And that was it for him. Wayne Gallman, 94 yards and a TD. Evan Ingram, 129 yards and a TD. Oh, no, just 129 yards. Brandon Allen, who replaced Joe Burrow for the rest of the season. And as you can see, Wayne Gallman scored a TD. Brandon Allen replaced Joe Burrow for the rest of the season. 17 of 29, 136 yards, a TD and a pick. Giovanni Bernard only had 32 yards. T. Higgins had about 44 yards and a TD. Yeah. And then you got Brandon Wilson with the run back. That was the TD right there for the Bengals. Tie game. Nothing but a whole bunch of field goals up to this point until he pulls the pass off to T. Higgins and score 19-17. Bottom line, Giants win this 19-17, and they take the lead in the NFC East goofiness. And up next, you got the Carolina Panthers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. And this one was a back-and-forth battle today. No Adam Thielen. He was on COVID call. But anyway, Kirk Cousins, 34-45, 307 yards, 3 TDs. Dalvin Cook on 79 total yards. Justin Jefferson, 70 yards and 2 TDs. Teddy Bridgewater, 19 of 36, 267 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. Mike Davis, 79 total yards. Robbie Anderson, 94 yards and a TD. And Justin Jefferson starts it off right, getting it popping, touchdown, do the gritty. Look at him, stunting, flexing. But then Robbie Anderson said, the heck with that, it's my turn. I'm about to come through and get business. There you go, slide in, tie game, touchdown Panthers. But bottom line, the unsung hero of the day is Jeremy Chin. Look at him get sacked, and then Jeremy Chin picks it up. Touchdown for him. Defense beef. And look at this craziness. Literally 8 seconds later, Jeremy Chin is in a pile-up somewhere again. He gets the ball back again and runs it back for another touchdown. Within 8 freaking seconds doing his own little gritty. It's crazy. 21-10. At this point, you got a couple field goals. It's an 11-point game at this point. And here comes Justin Jefferson again. Diving in. Touchdown. Going to gritty. Vikings. Going for the 2-point conversion right here. Do they get it? Cousins gets it. And they get it. Then they get the 2. Now, this receiver's name is Chad Beebe trying to recover it, but then he loses the ball. I want you to remember that name, Chad Beebe. Because 50 seconds left in this game, he throws a pass to Chad Beebe. After they get the ball back, touchdown, Vikings, 28-27. Now, the crazy thing is the extra point attempt was blocked, but then it was a flag or offsides, and then they went for it again, and this is when they got it, 28-27. Bottom line, Joey Sly was not Young Koku because he could not hit a 54-yard kick, and that's how the Vikings pull it out, and they beat the Panthers 28-27. And up next, you got the Arizona Cardinals taking on New England Patriots. Patriots end up beating the Cardinals 20-17. Not a whole lot of numbers from Cam, 9 of 18, 84 yards and 2 picks. James White, 18 yards and 2 TDs though. Jacoby Myers, 52 yards. Kyler Murray, 23 of 34, 170 yards and a pick. Kenyon Drake, 78 yards and 2 TDs. D-Hop, 55 yards. So it was a lot of stuff being done on the ground. And as you can see, Kenyon Drake getting in, and they score 7-0. And there you go, James White rushes it in, gets in and scores 7-10. And here comes James White again, giving business in the third quarter, 17-10 Patriots. And of course, Kenyon Drake rushes in, fourth quarter. They go up, tie game 17 apiece. And the crazy thing, Nick Folk was a hero when he played against the Jets, so it's a buzzer beater crap, and he does it again. Nick Folk, of all people, with no feet, but bottom line is he's trying to have feet this year for some reason. But there you go, a win for the Patriots. And up next, you got the Miami Dolphins taking on the winless Jets. You already know what it is. Jets ain't winning nothing. They got Sam Darnold back out there, but for no good reason. He might as well just kept Flacco. Bottom line is Dolphins beat the Jets 20-3. Ryan Fitzpatrick, yes, Tua was injured. So Ryan Fitzpatrick was out there, 24-39, 257 yards, 2 TDs. DeAndre Washington, 49 yards. Devontae Parker, 119 yards. Sam Darnold, 16-27, 197 yards, and 2 picks. Frank Gore, 74 yards. Brashard Perriman, 79 yards. Yep. Here you go. Pass to Mike Gesicki. And that's a touchdown right there. 10-3. Adam Shaheen got his in too. Ain't really a whole lot to say here. Miami goes 7-4. Jets 0-11. Adam Gase needs to go, but he ain't going to go until the end of the season. Point blank period. It's the Jets we're talking about. Trash work at its pure finest. Junkyard residue, dumpster juice, landfill leftovers. You already know the rest. Picked. And that's pretty much what we feel about the New York Jets. And up next, the Cleveland Browns taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Baker Mayfield, 19-29, 258 yards, 2 TDs. Nick Chubb, 144 yards at a TD. Jarvis Landry, 143 yards at a TD. Mike Glennon, yes, Mike Glennon, 20-35, 235 yards and 2 TDs. James Robinson, 128 yards and a TD. Colin Johnson, 96 yards and a TD. And let's just start it off right here with Jarvis Landry. There you go. Touchdown, Browns, 7-3. There we go. Mike Glennon launches it to Colin Johnson. That was a beautiful throw. Launched it all the way down and dives in. Touchdown, Jaguars. They take the lead. Here we go. Baker launches it. Well, welcome back, Austin Hooper. Here you go. Touchdown, Browns. They take the lead, 17-13. And he gets the pass to Tyler Eifert, former Bengal. But there you go. Touchdown, Jacksonville. They take the lead, 2017. Oh, no, I take it back. They actually went for 2. They didn't get it, 19-17. Mayfield pitches it out to Nick Chubb. Gets in. Touchdown, Browns, 27-19. 2.5 left on the clock. He hands it off. James Robinson gets it in for a touchdown. 27-25. Obviously, they got to go for the 2. And then Glennon's going. He's running up. What's he going to do? He passes up. And it's nowhere near it. They don't get it. They failed on the 2-point conversion. And they're able to close this game out for the first time in a long time. The Browns are having a winning season. They are 8-3. And now we got both 7-3 teams. Who's going to control the AFC South? The rematch from 2 weeks ago. Tennessee Titans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Ryan Tannehill. 13 of 22, 221 yards, 1 TD. Derrick Henry, 178 yards, 3 TDs. A.J. Brown, 98 yards and a TD. Phillip Rivers, 24-42, 295 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Jacoby Brissett, who they were using as a secondary quarterback coming into the game, he scored like 2 TDs. T.Y. Hilton, 81 yards and a TD. And that was crazy in itself. And let's just start it off with who else? Derrick Henry, there you go. That's 1 of 3. And Phillip Rivers finds Trey Burton getting it popping. Tie game right here. Touchdown Colts. And then Ryan Tannehill hits A.J. Brown, who's very slept on for whatever reason. A.J. Brown comes back, giving the business, runs it through. Touchdown Titans. Jacoby Brissett, here's one of his TDs right there. There you go. Tie game, 14 apiece. Colts. You already know what time it is. It's time for Derrick Henry once again. Pummeling in, giving the business. Touchdown Titans, 21-14. And let's just keep it going. Why not? Derrick Henry Day. There you go. His third one of the day. Touchdown Titans, 28-14. Oh, Derrick Henry gonna do it again. Oh no, Tannehill said, nope, psych. I'm about to go ahead and get business. 35-14 Titans. And there you go, Jacoby Brissett once again in the fourth quarter. Try to get some comeback or something. And it's looking like the score's out of reach, but pretty much. And T.Y. Hilton finally this year, gets a touchdown. We've been waiting on him on fantasy the entire year. And it took till week 12 to get it done. And then they do an onside kick, and then A.J. Brown showing off his skills once again. Bottom line, 45-26. This one wasn't even close. They got blown out 2 weeks ago, and now it's vice versa, the receipt given. Titans take control of the AFC South. They go 8-3. Colts fall to 7-4.